It's like we're live, brother.
Hell yeah.
I see you over here. You put your Discord name.
Oh,
My last guest accidentally doxed himself by putting his real name over here yesterday.
well, I used to stream myself, so I kind of got used to putting putting my gamer tag or alias or whatever you want to call it into in as my name.
Uh-huh.
So it's just kind of habit for me.
So I always ask everybody that first comes on, they got to explain your I don't know, your alter ego here, the Dark Silence. Where does it come from? What's the story behind all that?
I'm big into gaming, so no, I've had the Xbox since release of the Xbox original, and had a really childish gamer tag originally, and along growing up but still having a love for gaming, I kind of came up with something else that seemed a little bit more adultish, but in the same range. And then I always make the joke is I there's a lie in there. It's dark silence, and one of those isn't true.
Uh-huh. And I'm looking around in your office there, and I see some looks like snowboards up there.
Yes, sir. If we had waited just one more week, I actually have a Titano snowboard coming. I was working with another company, and they put. Let's see if I can find the picture here. They're putting the Titano logo. I was working with Summit on it. He gave me the pictures,
Uh-huh.
and and I was kind of I didn't know what else to do to kind of same thing as you with your charity, and just kind of a way of bringing maybe people in, having people ask some questions, because I've been going snowboarding every other day.
I saw a picture. Oh, okay, gotcha. That's what that was. I
Yeah,
saw that somewhere, and I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. Okay, cool.
yeah, yeah. I think in the future, I don't necessarily have the funds to go and buy several $800 snowboards, but it'd be cool to kind of do something you were doing with that kind of thing, or something different.
Is that what
So
those things go for? About $800?
that one was 836. They'll go from anywhere from like 5 to 1,500. It depends on the
Wow.
board.
God. What's the difference between a $200 board and $800 board?
Uh, Used or new, really, a lot of the time somebody's selling it. Also depends on. I mean, a lot of new technology is coming out. So
Uh-huh. Would like a big guy have to use a different kind of board versus a more normal sized person?
yes, sir. I like that one's about 161 centimeters, and that's about the shortest I'd want. I'm 6'4", so
Uh-huh. Oh, well, you're taller
so
than me.
only by an inch from what I heard.
I'm about 6'1". I'm about
Oh,
six
okay.
one. That's it. If I got my boots on, maybe 6'2".
Okay, I thought I heard 6'3" the other day or something.
I
Maybe I was.
wish. I mean,
But yeah. So that about the a little bit shorter. I don't know if you can see it. A little bit shorter than that top board there.
oh yeah, that one's bigger.
Yeah, that one a buddy gave me to try out, and I haven't been able to try it out yet.
Uh-huh. I
Let's see
saw
that.
a picture of you somewhere on the Discord where it looked like you had icicles hanging off your beard.
I did.
Where was
Yeah, it was
that?
Mount Hood, up on the. I think it was either the Jeff Flood or the Storm and Norman run on Mount Hood.
And so you went there to do the snowboarding?
Yes, sir.
How
I
long? How long you been doing that?
that's a hard question, because like I originally started learning when I was like 5 or 6 years old with my dad on Mount Hood. I mean, Lake Tahoe,
Hmm.
Nevada, and hated it. Had a really miserable time. Didn't touch it again
Why?
until high school. I was cold, young, and dumb.
Uh,
I got really wet. I was having, not to get into too much details, I was having stomach issues that day. I'll never forget
uh,
that day.
yeah.
Got
Okay.
stuck at the top of the mountain and needed to be at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
And ended up going again when in high school with some buddies. Had a little bit more fun because I was with friends, but still wasn't my thing. And then this year, My brother was like, let's go snowboarding, and I was like, fine, I'll give it another shot. And with the several years of gap in between the last time and now, and some different life experiences, every time I fell, I just kept getting back up.
Nice.
And just kept going, and like I got some videos somewhere. We've been meaning to put it into kind of a YouTube thing ourselves, but of me going from like falling to actually being able to go in the trees and do over the course of the last. We've started in December and have gone pretty much, like I said, every other day since.
Wow. So it just all of a sudden it really clicked for you.
Yeah, there was some adult beverages that helped with that.
You're going snowboarding after drinking?
While drinking?
That seems dangerous to me, man.
For the first 3 months, I stayed on the bunny hill. So there's no edges, there's no, and just until I got it, until I understood how to carve, until I understood how to stop. Stopping was important.
When I was a younger man, I went skiing with somebody, and I spent the entire day on that bunny hill. And the thing about it that was so embarrassing is all these little kids that were like, 2 inches tall that were whizzing by me and cutting into the snow and spraying me with snow. And I was just like, man, I don't like this, man. I don't know what I'm doing. And all these kids are like, professionals. So, man.
Yeah. I mean, before he joined the army, he was going to go or he was like a junior Olympic skier.
Oh.
So, I mean, he has way more experience than I do. And when I say brother, like not biologically.
Okay. Friend.
Like best friend. I have 4 of them, and a sister, and then a biological sister. But we've all known each other. I mean, we've been around our families for so long and each other that like we've kind of adopted each other into our own families, and it's a much bigger family. But yeah, he was really good. And so it was also very helpful to have somebody like that with me to kind of be an example.
In all things in life, it's always good to have somebody take your hand and help you through it.
Right.
I call everybody brother. You'll know that as you go by, and I do that because I'm really terrible with names. So I just call everybody brother. It makes it easy.
I do the same for the most part, but when I say somebody's my brother, they're my family. Like I'll do anything to protect them.
How old are you now? You said we were talking about high school before, but now you're
32.
32. All right, man. So
yes,
you have some time between your snowboarding.
A lot of time between. A lot of falling.
And so I'm 55, so we got a little bit of an age gap there. But it sounds like your energy is right in the place where I like it too. I like to mix it up and have conversations with folks that aren't too much of couch potato in there. You know what I mean? To experience a little bit of life and get out there and taste things.
I like to refer to myself as an extroverted introvert. Like I like being out with people and doing my own thing but also having my time to like recharge and do myself or be by myself.
Got to have that me time.
Right.
Now I'm looking behind you and I see you got the Dark Silence neon sign too.
I do. I started back last maybe a little bit before last year. I started streaming, doing the streaming video games. I was doing kind of a what I call Dark's Medical Minute because I was going into that was right when I started my CNA schooling and starting schooling for nursing. And not at the same time. I went one and then the other. And doing it while doing another thing that I love, which is games. And it ended up. It was going pretty well. I was seeing some growth, and I was starting to build my own community. And like I told you last night, my father passed away last year.
Yes, sir.
And that changes a lot of things on trajectories for people. I ended up going. I mean, I ended up stopping pretty much right April 15th, or well, the week leading up to that, right there, and starting to deal with all of that, and ended up driving to Arizona, making it there within 24 hours,
Mm-hmm.
spending 2 days in Tucson at the VA with him. And then, long story short, we thought he was coming home. So I drove back to Portland to get actually this room set up for him, so that way he would have a place until we could find him a more permanent situation. And then turned around and drove back. And on the way there,
Got word.
well, kind of. On the way there, we were told that they couldn't get his vitals stabilized. Sodium and potassium were out of whack, so they wanted to keep him a couple days. So the friend that I was taking with me, that was helping me and let me borrow his truck, him and I stopped in Vegas. Just kind of, one, it was cheaper because I was spending almost $200 a night in Tucson, and then it was like $150 for 2 nights in Vegas. And two, it was kind of like, well, I mean, I'm not going to be able to pick him up, and I can't see him because of COVID, so we'll just chill here. And then that's when I got word, and it was like, oh crap, oh shit, we need to be there now, and drove the 6 hours from Vegas to Tucson. And got there that night, and I was with him until he passed the next day.
Small world, brother. I go to that VA. That's where I go for all my medical care. And of course, Tucson. I wish I would have known you then, and you could have stayed with us.
I appreciate that. That was, I don't know. I wasn't necessarily in shock, but that was rough. That was a lot of like trying to manage everything at once, while trying to keep my teachers updated, because I was right in the middle of a term at that point too. So since then, I kind of taken some of the things that I didn't realize he was teaching me until later, after doing some introspective, and I'm kind of just learning snowboarding. I'm traveling as much as I can. I'm spending time learning more and more and investing. I mean, I've been learning since 2012, but this is the first couple years that I've actually been profitable.
Let me ask you a question. How old was your dad when he passed?
67.
So a young guy. That's not really that. That's and
and stuff will get to you.
Listen, I am 55, like I said. About 2 years ago, I had some interesting things happening to me too medically, and it was, strangely enough, it was some potassium and magnesium imbalances, but I didn't know what it was, and it scared the crap out of me, and it just made, once you start to get a taste of the reality that you kind of get a sense of your mortality, and you think, my gosh, this thing isn't going to go forever. And I am getting older, and I am going to leave this place at some point, and it's funny, because it probably, that realization, especially the last couple of years, is really the thing that kicks me into high gear, and making sure that I finish my products and my projects and get things done, and setting it up for my kids, and just in case, because you just never know. So yeah, it changes everything, like you're saying, and now you're forced to kind of sit down and take a look at things and say, well, what kind of person do I want to be? What kind of life do I want to live? And all of a sudden, those things become a little more important than everything else.
Absolutely. Like also losing, like him and I always butted heads. Like there wasn't a time we didn't argue at specific points. There's times where I have pictures of him, jumping off bridges into, if you're familiar with Oregon, Lake Billy Chinook with us, and taking the wave runners out and stuff. But we did butt heads a lot too. But especially being able to kind of just sit back and do me, looking back at everything, like I lost the one person that has always been in my corner for my entire life. And it puts that into perspective. I mean, I think it happens for everybody at different ages. It doesn't necessarily have to mean You know, you don't have to be 55 or 32. You could, I mean, it just depends on your life experience. But yeah, that was kind of a big, like, I need to spend more time. Um, what we put on his headstone or his gravestone was take the scenic route, because that was something he'd always tell us. And so, like, that was kind of I put the brakes on a lot of things right after that, and have kind of just been doing that in a manner.
Uh-huh.
You know, I had always wanted, like, I started getting more serious about investing. Um, you know, I've been listening to a lot of your stuff. There's a lot of things with you that are very similar in my life. That was one thing that I noticed. But like, and then listening to Viking in your show, what, it was like 10 hours ago. Like, I wrecked my motorcycle back in 2019. Ended up in the hospital and in ICU for 4 days while they put my foot back together because it pinned me against median.
What were you riding?
A 100cc Suzuki Boulevard.
So, okay, it's Suzuki Boulevard. It's like a cruiser bike.
Yeah, it was nice. Until it stopped being nice.
Uh, everything's good until it's not anymore, right?
Right. And listening to what you were saying at the end of your last video about, you know, it's interesting to see how people take the adversities that are presented with them and how they move on. And that was kind of the primary thought when that happened, is like, how am I going to move on from this and do better? And then same thing with my dad, and same thing with a lot of other things in my life. It's just how can we do that? And then I try to use that a lot to help others. And that was kind of why I went into being a CNA. And I mean, like, if you look at my career path from high school on out, it's in service of others. I wanted to be able
for people.
I've been through a lot too, and I think that I can, with some of my experiences, I can at least give something back. If you take anything from it, is like, there's always a way through.
Well, if you think about it, it has to be the people who have gone through it, or else how would you know that someone even could use your help? You know, could use your advice, could use just an ear. You know, sometimes just for someone to have someone to talk to and listen to. You know, that in itself is, you know, a treasure. Um, you know, like I in my growing up in my household, I never had anybody talk to me this way, you know, talk about the things that you and I are talking about, the kinds of things we talk about in the Discord, and getting personal and really looking at things that are sometimes, you know, hard to talk about and uncomfortable to talk about. But I always, you know, my favorite word is bittersweet. I understand that sometimes it is hard, you know, it hurts, it's painful, but, you know, on the other side of it, you know, it should be making you stronger, should be making you wiser, should be enabling you to recognize when other people are also in a rough spot. And why, you know, I mean, depending upon the kind of person you want to be, I mean, you're going to have opportunities where, you know, you can put your hand on somebody's shoulder and say, you know what, I've been where you're at, and you want to sit down and have a beer? Let's have a chat about this.
Yeah.
And who knows, you know, who knows where it goes. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to do here is like, you know, we're not going to be talking about Titano all the time. We are going to be talking about Titano, and it's interwoven into our lives for sure. But, you know, I want, my idea for this is so that everybody in the Discord can really get to know each other. I mean, like, really get to know each other instead of, you know, just these small little, you know, 3 words or a couple sentences, or, you know, that we're typically watching go up and down the screen at like a breakneck speed, you know, but you don't really get to know somebody. You know what I mean?
That, yeah, I 100%. I mean, that's kind of the point with the snowboard is if I can, like, get somebody to, what the hell's Titano? Why is it on the bottom of your board, bro? And then I can go and explain it. Or, you know, I saw Summit's comment of excited for that snowboard.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, or the, like, just being able to, that's what drew me into the Discord is like, I can actually interact with everybody that's investing. But not only that, it's the entire like developer team and the mods and everybody in there. And that's, I mean, I know that there's stock twits and things like that out for like the regular stock market, but it's not as interactive. It's not
Oh yeah, no,
it's not as wholesome. And that's like I was telling Viking earlier, like that's a lot of what gives me so much faith in the future of Titano is like you look at the Sheebs and the Doges and the Ethereum and Bitcoin, but like all of those coins that are out there and still doing more than what anybody expected, it was because of a community behind them that supported them. And
yeah.
I see it, like I got to see it in action with Titano. Like I didn't, I did invest in Sheep and I did invest in Doge, and I was able to do pretty well in both of those projects. But like I never got onto any Discord or anything like that until Titano, and it was like, whoa, this is cool.
Well, let's imagine for a moment, that we were the devs in Titano, right? And you're going through some difficult times. I mean, if you had a dispassionate group of people as for investors and they didn't give a rat's ass one way or the other, I mean, how motivated would you be to stick it through, So it's like, I think it's very important for all of us to take some ownership on this, so that if the developers are looking at this and saying, man, I don't know, what should we do about this?
Right.
I want their reaction to be like, there's no way in the world we can walk away from this. These people are counting on us, and look at, these are great people, and God, there's no way in the world that we're gonna walk away from this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that, like I said last night also, the whole, like, yeah, I was a little salty in the beginning because I made that mistake, but that was all my fault. Like
hey, we're only human.
Yeah, shouldn't be clicking on links while dealing with root canals. I mean, it's really what
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about you lost $10,000, right?
Yes, sir.
In Titano.
Oh, I wouldn't say it was in Titano. I lost $10,000. Yeah, I was DM'd, ignoring the whole bot that goes every like 30 minutes that says, hey, don't accept any DMs for anybody and turn off your notifications, by a guy who had copied one of the developers' names. I was brand new to the token, and it and right in the middle of the V2 switch. And I hadn't had the time to go through the entire Discord yet and read everything. I only was seeing help for like the MetaMask wallet, but I was using the Coinbase separate like wallet at the time.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to figure out if anything was different between that, even though the bot and everybody kept saying like, hey, it's going to happen automatically, just let it happen.
Yeah.
But with everything that was happening at that time, I just kind of got in my own head, and this guy ended up DMing me, and he was like, here, go to this link. And by the time it registered what the hell I was doing, I mean, I physically put in my information. I was dumb. That was my mistake. Like, take full responsibility and ownership for that.
When you say your information, you mean like what?
My wallet key. I physically did that. That was a dumb move on my part.
Well, you won't make that mistake again.
Nope. I view it as the $10,000 lesson for everybody else in the room. And then
well, I don't want you to feel bad, brother. I had a $10,000 lesson also. Okay, so I sold one of my motorcycles because I wanted to put about 10 grand into a project, not Titano. This was before Titano, and I went and used that 10,000 in a situation. I used it with leverage, and I promptly got liquidated. And so don't feel too bad. There's generally in a situation where there is some success, there's also failure. So
yeah, there is, and you got to fail to win.
Yeah, brother. I think my big thing with the idea or the concept of failure is to expect it, and if you can find a way to look at it without without despising it, without hating it, without being revolted by it, I think you're going to really do yourself a favor, because there's just certain lessons that you're not going to learn unless you feel the pain. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the way it is. And so it's like, I don't know, the human condition's always trying to find a comfortable place, and so when you're hot, you want to be cold. When you're cold, you want to be hot. When you're hungry, you want to be full. But I think the challenge for us going forward, especially if you're into finances, is that you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm,
And you've got to be able to take a step back and look at what's happening here in a dispassionate way and try to work it out logically.
I agree, and I've learned a lot of I've learned a lot of being uncomfortable over the last 2 years. This last specifically, but I think it's a good lesson though, and
Yeah,
and sometimes I
probably
do.
probably
Okay,
unavoidable, and it's either now or later. So,
all right, and I do always make the joke of like I need it to hurt to learn, and it hurts sometimes.
well, we're all kind of stubborn in some way, and generally it takes. Look, I've had to many times be and do things that are certainly not a part of who I am today to realize that that's not the person I wanted to be. Those aren't the kinds of situations I want to find myself in again. And until you're actually in it and you actually feel the ramifications of it, then you don't know. So it's like you want the experience for yourself. And if you don't have somebody in your life, first of all, who can articulate why you might not want to do that, whatever it is, or why you might want to go somewhere else, then you're probably bound to make some mistakes. There's very few people really have mentors in their life.
They do, but at the same time, that's why some of us, like you were saying earlier, need to kind of step up and be there so that way they can reach out and we can give them what. Like I'm not perfect. I'm not. Hell, I wouldn't even say I'm good. But like if there is something that I can teach, I'd be happy to teach it. And if anybody would reach out and know that they have a friend at the very least that they can vent to, like that's kind of where I come, or at least like I said back, I don't know, a month ago, is like keep everything uplifted and funny and lighthearted, and you keep those smiles rolling.
You could almost tell right away where somebody's coming from. Most people are pretty good-willed. They're good-willed people. And you know pretty quickly if you got a real jerk, somebody that you want to stay away from. So, but what's nice about the Discord is there's so many good-willed people in there already, and I think our biggest challenge is just going to be to organize and figure out what roles all of us can play. And like I was saying yesterday, they don't even have to be large roles. I don't think, I think that if you had a large number of people step up to the plate and just do some very small things. And at the end, looking back at everything, you're going to see massive movement because you got a lot of little people, a lot of people doing a few things instead
Right.
of just a few people doing a massive amount of work, you know.
Get better quality control that way too.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a little ironing that we have to do to try to figure out where our spot is. And I sure could use the help of, we could all use the help of people I mean, there's better people who are better suited for this task than me. I'm just somebody that recognizes something needs to be done, and I'm kind of forceful. Uh, I can't sit here and tell somebody that I've got 10 things in my bag that I think are going to solve all our problems. I think that there are people in the Discord though that do have some great ideas, and I'm hoping that they'll step up and say, "Hey, listen, I'm listening to what you guys are saying, and I want to be a part of it, and I think I could actually take the lead in this department." You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree with that. But don't sell yourself short either. Sometimes it does like it takes one to get the ball rolling, and then
Sure.
it's kind of like
Yeah,
Titano. It compounds over time.
exactly. Everybody's got a part to play, and I'm happy to play my part. And but at the same time, it's like even with my business, I'm very careful about, I don't want to become the issue. I don't want to become like, that's Tubbs, that's Tubbs over there, man. He's the guy. I, I want to be one of the guys. I don't want to be the guy. You know what I mean? I want to be one of many. and I just want to fit in there somewhere. And if I have a I don't know, a larger role somewhere, okay, that's great as long as there are other larger roles also. Do you know what I mean?
That's like I was telling Summit, like my whole after getting after getting to know everybody and reading through and then kind of just watching for I don't know if it was a few days or a few weeks, but I just sit there and watch and read everybody's comments and see how everybody interacted. But
Yeah.
that's been my goal, is to be part of the community and help in any way that I can. I've thrown out some ideas um, on what's it called, on Discord in their their ideas portions.
Uh,
And
yeah.
I've had some other ideas that I've wanted to fine tune before I put them out, but there's some other ideas that I had that I'll throw out there eventually that I think could help in the future. I don't know if that's where we're at yet, but
Uh-huh.
um,
It's
and
probably a long it's a long story. We're just starting.
right,
I hope it's a
right.
long story.
I hope so too. I think it will be. I think if you look at any of the other projects that started off the way, I mean, you'll see the giant dips, and then you'll start seeing the memes of if you held at this price, you'd have this much money now, and then this at this month, and this at this month, and I mean, so far, even looking at the chart, like it just kind of following those stories, everything drops off for a little bit. It's for some point, and I mean, it's really the community that makes or breaks it, and I think that Titano, mixed with everybody that's in the community and the devs and everybody, has done a really good job to bring people and create this at least a populous ecosystem where everybody can for the most part. I mean, we know we have our problem children that come in at certain times, but you can communicate with each other and laugh and play and talk about Titano, talk about pubic hair, talk about like whatever.
I don't want to talk about anybody's pubic hair, but I'd rather talk about
Same.
about Titano.
I'm just basing it off of a conversation I read last night.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that.
But I mean, I was brought in by my friend in Ohio who was telling me all of this, and he was the one that explained to me. He's like, man, yeah, they had a bunch of money stolen from Play. They put $2 million out of their own pocket to give everybody their money back. They were one of, if not the original rebasing token. And then, there's a bunch of other forks, and he explained to me all the pros and cons to these other forks. And he was like, but I really stand behind Titano, and I've gotten to talk to the devs, and I really see a future with this project. And this guy, to me, he has made me, just from he's been a really good friend. I met him online playing Call of Duty, but his suggestions have made me over like $70,000 in the past 2 years of investments that he's gone into. And it was like, so it was a no-brainer for me. It was like, okay, he's saying this, let's do it again.
So this was your introduction to Titano through this friend of yours.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. And so is he still in Titano?
Yes, sir, he is. Mm-hmm. He works full-time doing HVAC, I believe. And so he pops in and out, and he knows that I've been more, because he hasn't been able to be on the computer at all in months. So he'll come over to me. He's like, I've seen you in the chat a couple times. Anything? And I was like, well, market conditions, and this is going on, and this is going on, and this is going on. And he's like, okay, well, keep holding. he'll go back, and we'll either play a game, or he'll end up, he's at work or whatever.
So what are your thoughts on the current price, on what's happening right now?
My thoughts on the current price are, like I said, I've seen it happen time and time again with other projects, and then all of a sudden it takes off. It could be tomorrow, it could be, 4 years down the road.
So you're not moved in one direction or the other. You don't have an emotional impact on this. You're just seeing where it's going to go.
No, I mean, yes and no. Like I'm in with 4 of my brothers, and one of them, he is in for a very specific reason, and we're all in the process trying to help him. He's wheelchair bound, and he's been trying to get a track chair, and it's a $20,000 chair. The state's kind of sending him through the ringer, And so in a way, this has all been a way to help us, help us all together
Mm-hmm.
to, you know, see what we can do. But no, to me, the price is going to be the price. As long as I see liquidity, as long as I see the backing, I see,
Mm-hmm.
the treasury, and it's not all of a sudden just like going like a slot machine towards the downside. Like
Yeah.
it's, I'm pretty, I'm confident. It, like I said, like we saw Sheep go, like what had like 9 zeros in front of it to taking care of at least two of them in the last year, and
Uh-huh.
same with Doge. And we've seen Bitcoin go from like 20 something thousand down to 7,000 up to what was its almost peak? It almost peaked at like 70,000, I
You know, the
think.
thing that amazed me about the Dogecoin was is how long it languished at 13 cents. And I was just like, wow, I mean, it's like that. I would love for Titano to hang out at 13 cents for half a year. You know what I mean?
I mean, as we get more support and more people in there, new investors and new, you know, new utilities, and we can figure out how to not make people scared. Which,
I don't think you can solve that problem,
no,
brother,
I
because
don't.
that is a personal thing, you know. It's like something you've got to deal with on your own time, you know, where you've got to work it out, you know, your risk assessment, man, and if taking part in a project like this is making you sick, then get out. You know, you shouldn't
Right?
even be in it to begin with. So,
I agree.
I mean, why do this if it's going to bring that kind of stress to your life? You know, I don't think it's worth it personally. You know, I think maybe um, you go into some more traditional style of finance. You know, where there isn't so much risk.
Right, right. I mean, also scared money doesn't make money. You know.
You know, man, I mean, there's so many different strategies. I take a lot of my money and I put it into my business. And so, you know, there's ways to kind of like get around some of the risk and alleviate some of it. And but you know, I'm a big proponent of entrepreneurism, and I think that you know having your own business is one of the best ways that you can control your life and bring real stability into it. And I think tools like Titano can enhance that. And you know, if we're lucky, then I mean, I look, I mean, if this thing just stayed at a penny for the rest of the year, I'd make more in Titano than I have in all 13 years of my business. Um,
I would,
so
yeah, I
yeah,
mean, same.
the
I'd make
potential's
more.
there. I understand the potential, you know. I try not to think about it too much because, you know, it's like it almost seems too good to be true. But you know, on the other hand, you know, it's like that's what you're working towards. So, you know, do what you can to bring the project to that place.
Right, right. I mean, you worded it perfectly yesterday or the day before, or it was you're protecting your investment, and
Yeah.
that, like, it's such a healthy, in my opinion, it's such a healthy way of doing it. Is like you're bringing the community together. You are becoming a sounding board. From what I've seen, the community loves you. Like, and I'm not gonna lie. At first, when I saw you doing your competitions and stuff, I was like, I was scammed once. I'm not doing this again. And then, like, I think it was Summit or David, one of the two, was like talking you up and giving. And I was like, okay, well, if the developers are on board, this is legit. And so I started watching and following what you were saying and doing. I was like, wow, that is epic. Like,
So far, my airdrops are the only ones that are legit.
so far they are. Uh, I haven't seen anybody else come even close.
Uh-huh. Well, you know, look, man, I'm just you know, for me I'm just doing what comes natural to me. And you know, it's a way that I can get involved. You know, I feel like I understand a little bit about what it's like to be the underdog, and I know what it feels like to get help when you need it. And so, you know, it's like I think that you know, at my age, at my level of success, I have a strong desire to give back, to put into the well, you know, because I took from the well the well of knowledge. So I'm talking about the cumulative intelligence of, all these previous generations. That we have, I mean, literally thousands of years of, if not hundreds of thousands of years of cumulative knowledge that we're able to draw from, and it's there for the taking if you want it.
And now it's
And
at your fingertips.
exactly, so
You know,
I just feel like compelled to do it for lots of reasons. Yes, I am protecting my investment and doing what I think I should do, but also I have a heart for people just like you do. I can't stand to see people suffer, but I also understand that you're going to suffer until you decide you're done suffering. Because even hard times don't have to feel like suffering, they can just be uh, stepping stones, and it just really depends on how you internalize it. You can get lost in the misery if you want, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to take this hardship and I'm going to learn everything I can from it. I'm going to pick it apart, piece by piece, and make sure I never step in this hole again. And, you know, for me, I think that is like uh, you know, like I said, I've been in business 13 years. I'm an accidental entrepreneur. I never planned to go into the honey business and start my own business, just something that happened. And, the business presents you with opportunities to grow because it wants to grow, right? And so you're either going to decide to do these things or not do it, So the business gives you, it's like a mentor, it's my mentor. And it really liberated me from a position where I felt like I had little to no control over my life to having total and utter control. And that means, like with everything, it's like, oh, so when things don't work out well, it's my fault. But if things work out great, hey, I can pat myself on the shoulder. You know
right?
what I mean?
Go and enjoy
So
something. Yeah.
I think that, if you can start to work yourself into that mode of thinking, then these kinds of projects aren't going to be so painful for you. And, you know, I, but I understand it's difficult for people, these steps, these um, stages of life. Sometimes they can take a long time in between stages, but I do think it matters the kind of people you have surrounding you, which can kind of like cushion the fall a little bit.
Yeah, the old adage of actually there's two of them. The it takes a village and you are what you eat, in a way you are the people you surround yourself by.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
um,
exactly. A lot of the folks that are out there right now have never been introduced to the concepts we talk about. That they've never, because they don't read books or they haven't had somebody influential in their life.
oh, dude, I have like $800 in books behind me that I still need. Like some of them, the ones in the back, I've gone through most of them. The ones in the front, I still need to read. um, there's
Audiobooks, man, the world. Yeah, because you could be snowboarding and listening to those things.
that's valid. Yeah, that's very valid. I
I
like
was
having
faced with the same thing. I was like, I can't sit down and physically hold a book because I'm always doing something.
that's yeah.
So you got to use the audiobooks, and they work great.
But then I find myself paying double because I like having the visual like representation, but then I like being able to just listen to it
It's an investment. That's how you got to look at it. An investment.
in yourself.
It's
You're
money
right.
well spent.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I
It
mean,
is.
seriously, and that's because that's where the realization starts to happen for a lot of people. You say, you know what, I already think this way. So maybe I'm on the right track, or they hear something and they say, you know what, I could do that too. I can do that. I know I can. And you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people don't have someone in their life telling them, hey, good job.
Yeah.
You should do this. You'd be good at that. So the only way you're going to find out, if you're not a stubborn person like myself who's willing to do things alone, is you got to read it.
You got to read it and yeah, surround yourself by the people that you admire and that will mentor you and take your
Yeah,
hand and
yeah,
slap it
exactly.
when you're when you've done something wrong and be like, but it's okay. You have the opportunity to change it.
Let me tell you a story, man. I joined the army when I was 35 years old. Okay.
Okay.
And so I went into the army. I'm going to boot camp for, it was 3 months. And immediately they made me PG. And so that's a platoon guide. All right. And so they take the oldest person and that's it, man. You're it. And I was 35 and most everybody else was 18 to 22. And so, I remember for me, some of the more challenging aspects of boot camp was the physical, because we were running and singing at the same time, like we're running with heavy rucksacks, full of stuff. And my position, I had to run 100 yards in front of everybody else and maintain a certain amount of distance between me and them. And 35 years old, 35-year-old man versus a 20-year-old kid, is a big difference. And so, we're out there running. As I start to slow down and that gap closes between me and the rest of the guys, here comes the drill sergeant running up from the rear, screaming in my ear to move my fat ass and that I couldn't lead from the rear. And what's amazing to me, brother, these stories is that just when you think your tank is empty and there's no more to give, all of a sudden it comes out, and I would move back up to where I was supposed to go. And my time in boot camp, the realization that I could do all of the things that I thought that were impossible for me to do, that I did them, that I could perform that well, that I could memorize things in just a few minutes, that I could perform physically the way they expected me to, even though I didn't think I could do those things, when you don't drop dead from running and you keep going and you keep going. And I think that those, for a lot of people, they don't ever have something in their life that proves to them that they can move beyond. And so, so I think it's a valuable thing to have in your life. And maybe your drill sergeant is your father, but you know.
Well, wrong way. I have my cover behind me from my blues from the Marine Corps.
So
I do know. I do. Actually, you said a lot of things because we were just talking about this. My brother came over, the one that I was helping just before we started on here.
Yeah.
He was talking, and we were talking about how like we hated how different drill instructors would organize the platoons, and like mine always did it shortest or tallest to shortest in the back, which I always thought was ridiculous because I'm 6'4", so I was obviously in the front, and I have a long stride.
Yeah.
Even when we're marching to cadence or whatever, it's still a long stride. And so you put all the tall people in the front with a long stride. Yeah, they're going to keep up. And then this is like an accordion. And then they're running back, yelling at everybody. And then, and like, our other brother, he's in the other room right now. He would always tell me, he's like, man, by the time we get to the end of our march, I was running the entire time to just keep up. And it was like, I'm sorry, man. But
those are special times, man. I mean, there's lessons learned there that you would never learn anywhere else.
That was the other comment I was going to make, is when you said that people don't have that. I took a friend of mine snowboarding that I hadn't seen since high school last month or the month before, and he was falling a lot, and he was just like, I'm done. I'm throwing like, he was like, you're kind of throwing a fit. And I was like, no, you will not give up. This is like, dude, if you saw where I was at the beginning of the year, you wouldn't think that I'm good at this by any means. You would have wondered, like, like, why is he doing this to himself? But I was like, you will keep going, and you will go down the hill again, and you will, mandatory fun. You will like it. And I was kidding, but he looked me dead in the eyes. He's like, dude, I am not a Marine. I'm not doing this. I am done. And I was like, bro, you don't have to be a Marine to have some faith in yourself. Like,
yeah,
but you're right. You're 100% correct. Like, there's a lot of people that didn't get pushed. They didn't get pushed hard enough to see what they're capable of. And it sucks. It hurts. I mean, you can't, you can kind of see it. Hit a tree the other day. I'm still falling. Like, there's still a lot of things that I'm learning, and
it never stops, bro. As long as you're alive.
And I had a great English teacher at my first term of college. Like, he said, learn to love your cheese. And we all looked at him like, what? And he's like, there's nothing interesting about cheese. But then you start breaking it down into different processes and how it's made and how some of it's aged and how, the different chemical bonds and so on and so forth. And he's like, learn to love the process. As long as you can learn to love the process, then you'll never be bored again in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you'll continue to want to learn things.
I've always thought to myself for the longest time, man, if you're bored, you're boring. You're just a boring person then.
Right.
There's no reason why how can you be bored in this world? It's crazy, especially in this time. So, it's just, but, I'm not saying it's a character flaw, but I am saying at some point you have to take charge of your life and say, look, if things aren't working out for me, then I need to do something different. Somebody once told me some years ago, before I started my business, one of the things he said was, he's like, Anthony, if you want big changes in your life, you have to change big.
No, yeah.
Simple, right?
I
It
like
sounds
that a
so
lot.
simple, and it makes total sense. If you want big changes, you got to change big.
Yeah, I mean, and then, I would argue, and continue changing, because without change, complacency kills.
Well, and the thing is, it's like, as you maneuver and move and pick a path, it shouldn't take weeks, months, and years to figure out if you're doing something that's working for you. Generally, it should be pretty immediate. You should know, because right thinking produces the right results almost right away. And if it doesn't, then maybe you need to rethink what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that a lot.
But it's a hard way of living. A lot of people think, oh, like you said, your friend said, "Hey, I'm not a Marine, man. Don't talk to me like that." All right, what could I tell you? You got to take charge of your life. I just think that it does, like you said, it doesn't have anything to do with being a Marine, but there are tools and there are things that are happening there that are worth looking at when it comes to making decisions and sticking with something and actually moving forward with it. And saying, hey, guess what? I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep doing this until I get the result that I want. Or, if you're having trouble, that, you actually try to find someone who can help you. I mean, how about that? But how many people know somebody that they can go to and say, hey, listen, I'm having trouble over here. What's your 2 cents on this?
Yeah, creating a community for yourself and having that is invaluable. Is absolutely invaluable. I don't know where I would be without any of the people in my life. I know where I'd be without or if I hadn't have gotten rid of some of the more toxic people in my life. But like having good people around you consistently will always compound your growth. And you don't know what you're bringing to other people. That was another thing I've learned over the years, is you also don't know what you're bringing to other people's lives.
They never tell you.
No, but it could be something. I mean, sometimes they tell you. Sometimes, especially if you end up with a down time and you're actually having that thought in front of somebody, and it's not behind scenes and by yourself, and you're just down. And then sometimes they'll be like, man, you don't understand the positive impact you've had in my life. And then I've had that once or twice where somebody just listed out, like, this is what you've done for me, and just the actions that I was able to observe from you. And
that's rare. That's a rare.
Very, very rare. And
it shouldn't be, but it is.
I try to, you'll see me say it sometimes. I think I've said it once or twice in the Discord, but like, from what it's worth, coming from a random guy on the internet, I'm proud of you. Like, that's kind of my go-to. Like, especially when we've had some of these deep talks in the Discord. I know that I've talked to quite a few people that have had some really, they've had some really down luck, but they've found their way to make it past it, and they're doing really strong. And if that's a message I can also send out, like, I'm proud of you guys.
Well, a lot of people are grown people. All their lives they're carrying some baggage. The baggage of never having somebody in their corner like what you were talking about before.
Mm.
And that has a real impact on how you feel about many things. And so if you can have somebody or a number of people in your life who understand the importance of just saying, hey, you know what, I saw what you were doing over here today. Good job, man. I mean, you know what? You stepped up to the plate. You did the hard thing over there. I'm really, I'm kind of in awe. You inspired me, and so
Right.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason what this is one of the reasons why I have these. I do the kinds of giveaways that I do because it does give you the ability to step in there and say, hey, you know what, man, that was really moving what you just wrote there, and thank you for that. And do you know how many people never hear something like that in their life?
Yeah. Like, I mean, just, yeah, I could quote you all day long. I mean, I want you to know that too. Like you have, I've seen a lot of people listen. I mean, that's kind of how all of this has become about, is because somebody was, I think, if correct me if I'm wrong, but somebody was like, hey, you should do a YouTube channel.
Uh-huh.
I don't, or was that your, like, but like, yeah, like I kind of like to just sit and watch too sometimes and just see everybody's interactions, and it's kind of unique. But yeah, nobody, or not nobody, but like it you don't see it very often of the positivity. You just see all the negative. Win,
Hmm.
to quote everybody over the last few weeks: win Lambo, win fucking this, win that, win.
Well, if the money part of it is the only thing happening in your brain, then I guess you can't really expect more than what you're seeing. But there has to be more to it, at least for me. It's not just the money,
No.
but I do want the money, of course. Let me ask you a question. Let's just say that money wasn't. Let's say we hit it big. Everything
Mhm.
went back up to 13, 20 cents, 25 cents, and now you're $5 million in the green, right? What would you do with that? What's some of the first things you would do with your Titano winnings? What's
I uh,
important?
I heard you ask this question yesterday, and I've been thinking about that for a little bit now. There's
Uh-huh.
I'm torn between kind of making a joke, but and just
Well, do
being
both.
spend it. No, I'm kidding. But the first thing I do is probably call a financial advisor,
That'd be
though,
smart.
because I mean, at that point, I'm going to start looking at how I'm going to continue to compound and make more
Hmm.
um,
You
passive
want to
income.
diversify.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, I also left a lot of. I have 25 different stocks that I was in, um, and some crypto that I was in to come into Titano. Um, so it'd be cool to use some of that passive income to start rebuilding my portfolio. But also, like I said before, I don't want to go. I mean, because of HIPAA and all that, I don't want to go in too much detail. I did talk to them today and was like, hey, if I end up having the opportunity to talk about you a little bit, I'm going to. Is that okay with you? And they gave me the green light. But like my brother, he's in the wheelchair. He's you know, it. He's been fighting the state, like I said earlier, to get this. It's called an action track chair. All four of us. That's part of our focus is to, because I mean he's just finished up with he had a hearing to see if he can't get the state to pay for it. Um, we're still waiting on the results of that, but is he's been fighting this for over 4 years trying to get this chair,
Mm.
and like
Be
as a
nice to take
friend,
care of for him.
yeah, as a friend, as a brother, as a somebody that is there for him. Like I'd like to give him a plan B so he doesn't lose faith that he can get this done. It would change his mobility overnight, and I'd love to see that happen for him. Um,
Hmm.
I I and his biological brother are going in together to buy a school bus that we're going to convert and put a wheelchair lift in it, so that way we can
Hmm.
go and do some traveling and get him out that way. So that's also the next project. As far as for myself, if I can get a boat some snow machines, and that kind of stuff, and be able to go play a little bit,
Yeah.
I'll be happy. I'm
Awesome.
more happy about the like I said the other night, it's more about the connections for me and to be able to share the memories, because none of that stuff I'm going to be able to take with me. I mean, I am half Egyptian. I'm sure I could have a pyramid built or something. But I mean, in reality, having the money to just go and have these kind of conversations, have these kind of experiences, being able to go and experience things is, and help other people, and having the money to do so. That's another way other than healthcare that I can do that.
Yeah, sure. If I win that kind of money, brother, I'm going to build the biggest honey company the world has ever seen.
I'll,
I'm out. I'm out for world dominance.
I was laughing about that earlier. I thought when you said that you had honey in those vats that like you were brewing some mead, and I was like, yes, I'd try
Now
that.
listen, now I wanted to ask you about that. So you're brewing cider,
Yes,
right?
sir. Well,
So
I'm trying.
uh-huh.
I think the fermentation process has got stalled, and I heard that if it stalls this soon, that I probably lost the batch, and I might need to start over.
What did you figure out? What it is that you think is going on?
Not yet. It could just be. I've read that the yeast could just be old yeast. I mean, I did buy the kit off of Amazon, so who knows how long that kit's been sitting in the warehouse.
Have you like exhausted yourself watching YouTube videos on how to do this, or
Not yet. Not yet.
maybe you should do.
I have. That's the plan. When I saw that you had the vets, and I was like, hey, maybe I can ask a question real quick and get a real quick answer, as opposed to.
That's funny, man, because when you asked me, I was like, what did I say? Did I say? But that is something that we want to do. I'd love to do it, but it has to wait until I have a bigger shop. We want to do. We would love to do mead. We would like to do the honey vinegar. I don't know if you've ever had that. It's amazing. Oh yeah, it's really something. And kombucha. Do you know what kombucha is?
I do.
Yeah.
Kombucha. I haven't had it yet, but I know what it is. I
Uh-huh.
did 7 years in retail management, so I do I stock in that stuff a lot.
Retail management for who?
For Kroger.
Oh, Kroger, the grocer.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
For a side or one of their purchases. Called
We don't have those out here.
Do you have a Rayleigh's or a
No.
Smith's? QFC?
Albertsons, Safeway,
No.
and then Fry's.
Fry's is owned by Kroger.
Okay, Fry's is owned by Kroger.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Same
know
with
that.
Fred Meyer, Publix, Rayleigh's, Smith's. Like they're a big company.
I don't know how those companies do it, man. I look at what it takes for us to keep going, and our ordering list and keeping track of stuff that we need. And I can't even begin to understand how a grocery store does it, man. That would be a nightmare.
A lot of technology, a lot of training. They also bought a Disney used to use it. It's a program that Disney used to use back in the day that kept their inventory and stuff, at least for their home goods, like beds and blenders and stuff like that. And they use it on that side. And there's a completely different program that they use for the grocery side of things. And there's some, since I named them, I'm not going to say nothing too negative, but there's some reasons on why I ended up leaving the company. But then there's a lot of people. I do have some mentors that I still talk to today. They were the ones that got me. I started as a cashier and moved my way up the ladder, and ended up managing the grocery department right there at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some people that I still talk to today when I have financial questions, because they invest. That's part of who taught me or got me interested in learning to invest, and why I should invest in a 401k, and why those things are important if you're going to go the workman's route of earning an income, and then I've expanded and kind of done everything I can to continue learning and watching YouTube videos. And I mean, even watching people like us start where you've started to start interviewing random people and listening to their stories and why they, so much utility in this.
I've never done it before. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just have a computer like everyone else, and I got a microphone and my phone and a notepad and a pen, and I just, but I watched a lot of the YouTubers that are doing this thing because they want to become, professional YouTubers or whatever, and they got nice sets and fancy graphics, and they splice and dice their presentations, and to me, that just doesn't seem authentic, and I didn't want to do this unless it was going to be like sitting down with somebody and just having a conversation, and I don't know if people like this or not. And I really don't know. We'll find out.
I appreciate it. I mean, coming from me, I didn't know you from Adam until a week ago or two now, but yeah, I mean, I did all this for when I was streaming video games and stuff like that. And I do have the programs, and if you ever want them or do want to know, I used a lot of that and have my own transitions and stuff for that. I can help with all of that, but it's a lot more real. That it's a lot more real. I even made the comment before I came on with you, with my brother. I was like, man, it's going to kind of look like I staged this behind me, but this is where I haven't changed this from when I started. So I was like, well, it is what it is. And I mean, I've always told everybody that at the same time as this is kind of a backdrop for me, it is everything that makes me, or at least can explain me a little bit. Like, I got the Marine Corps behind me. I got Halo, the Master Chief helmet. I go buy Dark Silence online. That's a little bit about me. I like swords. I have all my gaming and movies. I got the snowboards.
I bet you explained that massive tattoo on your arm. What's that thing?
So when my brother deployed, we were looking at tattoos, and he got he likes pandas. I've always been obsessed with wolves. I don't know if you can see it, but right there is a stuffed animal too of a wolf.
Okay, I can't tell.
When he deployed to Afghanistan, he found this on I don't know where he found it from, honestly, but I was like, well, you know what, I gotta get these angles right. But
is it a praying mantis?
No, it's a wolf. I'm trying to figure out the angle.
A wolf
here.
Yeah, okay, now I see it. I had it backwards.
Yeah, it's me figuring out angles, the way the camera works.
Yeah,
but
and that's a big tattoo right there.
Yeah, I love it. It's my first ever and only ever.
Okay. I was gonna say, you got more?
I want more. I just haven't prioritized those yet.
You're gonna get the sleeve, like both sleeves, all the way down?
I am thinking about a sleeve, because just like we were talking about earlier, where this kind of platform has helped a lot of people. Gaming, being a part of the online community and gaming with Xbox, I've made countless friends and visited countless friends across the U.S. I mean, I've visited people in Nevada. I've visited people. So, even when I offered to come to Arizona to help you out, that was a serious, I will come there to help you out. But
I could not believe that. Just so everybody knows what's going on here, we were talking last night on the Discord, and I was just mentioning that I had a lot of work ahead of me, heavy work, and I could use some extra muscle. And this guy right over here decided he was going to come all the way down here to Tucson and actually help me do it. And I just couldn't believe it. But you're serious.
Yeah, I was dead serious. I've met people in Texas. I've met people. My dad, ironically, with my dad, the very first vacation he ever took me on was to the Bahamas, and the very last vacation he ever took me on was also to the Bahamas, which I thought was really kind of unique and ironic, and didn't realize it.
Two different trips or the same trip?
Two different trips.
Oh, okay.
Several, almost 17 to 20 years later, which I thought was kind of a unique, interesting, well, after, thinking about it. But even when we went there, we met a friend in Florida that I had met online. I have a friend that's still a really good friend of ours, Actually, a lot of my friends are still really good friends of mine. I don't typically. So I try to text everybody at least on Christmas and Thanksgiving and just be like, "Hey, happy Thanksgiving, happy Merry Christmas," and keep in
Yeah.
contact that way.
Uh,
But yeah, like, so that was 100% a serious like offer. Like, and like I told you last night, there was a list of things that he'd wanted to do with us, and so it had been a dual purpose for me. But like, I totally would have done that.
Amazing, brother. And I have to tell you, if you could have got down here quicker, and I would have said yes.
The only other way would have been a plane trip, and
Yeah.
I'm working on some financial things at the moment. I'm running myself right to the edge at the moment.
That's
But
all right. It keeps me in shape, man, because if I stop, you know what happens, man. You stop working. That's another thing that, gets me is like you listen to these people and they say, "Oh, I'm going to stop working." Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You think that what? You think you're
never.
going to come on. I mean, forget about it. You better start a business if you win that kind of money. If you win some good money, you need to start a business, and you need to stay busy.
Yeah, even if your hands like not as hands on as you are with your business, but you start the business, you run it, you put the right people
Yeah.
in positions of power and in positions of labor. You have a proper labor or distribution of work. Like, you don't necessarily, you can still go and travel and do all the fun things, and you're gonna have to make some decisions here and there.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
um,
Would I win that kind of money, I would never even think about quitting my business. No
no,
way. I'll just make it better.
no, that was kind of the idea that I was thinking about. It'd be really cool to start a business and then be able to accept Titano for it.
Yeah.
And there's ways of doing it, I'm sure.
Well,
Like,
you know what? There's somebody that we'll have to ask Wayne if he can do it. If there's somebody that can do it, I bet it's that guy.
mhm.
You know?
And yeah, that was kind of along the lines as I had an idea, but I also didn't want to seem like I was pitching anything to anybody. So I just I've been mulling it over in my head and kind of coming up with details as I think about it from time to time before I say anything. But that was kind of part of it. Is like, it'd be really cool to start a business and then partner and be a partner and be something that can help bring more utility to this. And that's another way to bring the utility, or to bring it full circle, like you were talking about.
I feel like it's the only way to really decouple. When people talk about, oh, you're going to break away or decouple from Bitcoin or BNB, then you have to be able to pay for, your rent, your mortgage, your electric bill, with Titanos, some kind of card or something that, does the exchange. But I mean, that would be huge. Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that would go into that. I'd be willing to work it out with somebody though.
Well, just you putting it out there right now, I'm sure hopefully somebody's listening and says, you know what, I need to contact this guy.
It'd be fun, and
Oh,
I know that it'd be kind of cool to be able to get that. I can't wait. I'll be posting it in the Discord when I get it, but I get that board and then go and get some more people, into it. And
yeah.
I've had a mixed, because we have a group of four of us that go snowboarding together, and I've had some mixed. Like, you're really putting a cryptocurrency on the bottom of your board, huh? And I was like, why not? I mean,
What? Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Okay.
What should you put on the bottom? I mean,
Originally, I was going to do the EGA for the Marine Corps,
uh-huh.
but I was like, well, that could be my next board.
Dude, your boot camp must have been really rough, dude. I mean, it had to be way rougher than the Army's. Had to be. You guys carry like logs and shit when you run, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. We just had backpacks. You're carrying trees.
And trees, carrying ammo cans full of rocks or gravel, or like the big, like 2-person ammo cans. Yeah, that was a lot of pushing that I, to this day, utilize on when I'm like, no, I can't do this. Oh, yes, you can. This is nothing compared to what you've been through.
Yeah. Did you come out of it looking like a Greek god?
Yeah. I mean, that picture in the background that I sent you when I was like, hopefully this is enough social credit. to know that I'm not some kind of like creeper or murderer or something. Like that was me. That was me in the background. That definitely a lot less facial hair.
Well, that's the cool thing about military. It gets you in shape.
It does, and I'm working on it again. I always I saw a bumper sticker that I really love that I use to this day. Is not as lean, not as mean, but still Marine.
That's too funny. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, let's get on to there's something I wanted to talk about because I noticed that it's something that you comment a lot about when you're in the Discord, and I'll tell you first my personal opinion on it. I think it's an indication of brain damage when somebody starts to foul mouth or FUD their own project. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and I see it happen so much in the Discord. And I noticed that you also seem to have like a real disdain for it. Is there anything you want to say about that? And
I can't take the credit for that. That's mostly Summit because he was the one that started or he's the first person I said say that. And after thinking about it for a while and then seeing it again, it's like, yeah, why would you talk crap about your own investment? Like we're all here. Like it's not a secret that we all are here to make money. Like that. That's why we invest. That's why anybody invests in, because they believe in a project. They think it can go somewhere. They think they can make them a profit as well as being something viable for the future. Why wouldn't you try to come up? Like I've always told anybody, if I've ever been in a leadership position or anybody who's my leader, that vent to me or something, like if you're going to come to me with a problem, come to me with a solution as well, or at least something you think is a solution. So that way we can be like, no, that sucks, but this is a really good idea. In this portion, we're going to take this, and then we can start the brainstorming process on how to make it a viable solution. But just coming in and saying,
so what do you think it is? Do you think it's authentic? See, I don't think it's authentic. I think it's like hit squads. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's a concept that's still new to me. Like I've seen it a lot in some of the YouTubers that I've watched. I've seen it a lot in the. I don't. Maybe I've eaten one too many crayons, but like I don't recognize it as that beginning. So like, and I'm stumbling over my thought process here, but. It then occurs to me later that, oh, well, maybe, yeah, it is a group, because I am starting to see, like I said, 10:30 p.m. the last 2 nights in a row.
Like clockwork.
Yeah, they were there. This afternoon, I didn't have anything in my head already to reference it to like the previous days, but this afternoon I saw a big group of like people just talking crap, and they come in and they talk crap, they rile up everybody.
Yeah.
And then it starts everybody talking negatively. It starts.
I have no doubt in my mind that competing organizations hire people to go out there into the Discord and try to start shit. I have no doubt, because I know how these brains work, and they're unscrupulous, they don't care.
They don't, and that's true. Like I'd be willing. I'd be willing to put the money in like in a joint wallet with you on that bet. Like that they've got to, because I mean it's finance. When you get down to it, it is a cutthroat kind of thing. Like, oh yeah, let's make them look bad so we look better and shovel in all of that.
Oh yeah, dude. I've seen stuff in my 13 years of business I can't believe, and I think, wow, I can't even believe people spend time thinking this way and doing these things.
But it happens, and then you get stuck in it. Like,
it's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
What's worse is that the people that do these shitty things, and then they are telling people all over the place that they're good people. It's like, it's too funny.
You don't need to tell people that you're a good person to be a good person. Or, I've always believed that. Like if it's going to show in your actions. So, and their actions are not good. I mean, it's causing a big problem. I think it's also causing new investors to come in and think that I have two sides of this coin. I think that some investors are coming in and seeing all the argument, being like, "Wow, this is unprofessional. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't. Why would I put my money here?" At the same time, I'm also hoping that they see that, like all of us, going through and fighting them, and having the passion for the project, and see that, wow, they have a very passionate, consumer base. Like, this is a project that I would want to be a part of. They obviously have a tight knit community, and I'd love to be a part of that. So it's kind of a little bit of both in my head. I know that's kind of hypocritical, but
No, no, but I will tell you from my point of view, I don't think that a seasoned investor would be bothered by it because I think they expect it anyway. They know. So, what the things that are important to for them to see are what you just mentioned, that it's a thriving community, that it's vibrant, that there's a lot of participation, and I think that that's the thing that matters in the end.
I do agree. I mean, yeah, I mean, everything that I've ever watched is always one of the comments out of at least the YouTubers' mouths were, well, I'd like to see what the community's like, and how strong the community is, because a strong community will always build a strong project, and that's, I've heard that time and time and time again.
Hmm.
And so, we just got to stay strong, and we're gonna have the downs. And I mean, I even, like, it's a possibility we'll see an even bloodier down in the whole market as a whole than we see now. But like, I also think that we as a community, we as a project, we will survive, and it will be, you can't have your ups without your downs.
That's true. You, I mean, that's one of my favorites. It's like there is no up without down.
Mm.
There's no right without left, right? No wrong without right.
Right.
It's all of it. And how would you even know the value of love if you didn't understand the value of the opposite of love, you
Right.
know? So it's like it's the dichotomy of opposites. It's like bittersweet, that's what it is. That's what life is. It's bittersweet because, so let me ask you this.
Mhm.
Um, I know there's kind of an interesting energy that surrounds the idea or the concept of a whale.
Mm.
Okay. And what is in from your point of view, how do you see whales? Do you see them as something that it's a problem, or do you see it as something that is potentially a solution? How is it that you see them?
I see them as good ultimately, because to me, it's always shown the. Uh, I mean, money talks, right? So if you see people investing, I mean, even as much as you have in this, in a project, like, that's a good sign to me, because that means that they're willing to risk their money into a project.
Hmm.
It can be a double edged sword. Like, I guarantee you, if you pulled out what you had, you would move the market. I guarantee, if some of these other whales that are in there did that, they would also move the market. It can be a double edged sword, but I also, from what I've seen, like, people realize that, and if they also believe in the project enough to have invested in it, so they'll believe in it enough to know that they're not going to try and screw over a ton of their own investment, let alone a ton of other people.
Yeah.
Ish, like, because again, we are all in it to make some money, but I think that the team has done a really good job of it, kind of expressing their vision, what they want, what they're seeing out of it, how they expect you, how they're expecting the reaction to be. 10 Summit, I believe, said 10% a week. Is an acceptable.
Hmm.
They're encouraging people to sell like that. They've never once said no, don't sell. They're not once saying, like,
Yeah.
oh, we're going to put a ban on this, or, I mean, they're not trying to reach into our pockets and tell us what to do with our money. They're just saying, like, this is the idea that we want with the project, and this is how we think it should go forward. And you know anybody who's put in any amount of money, it looks like, has obliged, and does what they're, you know
Hmm.
does
I,
that.
I'll I'll never pull the rug out from this from this project, I won't do it. That's my
No.
pledge. Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
no.
5 million of my tokens are sitting in play, and they're making nothing.
I have 4 other people that I work with on our one account. I can guarantee none of my stuff's getting sold. I do want, like I said, it is my plan in the future to kind of diversify. But as far as, I never want to hurt the project. I'll follow Summit's advices, and I'll follow the project advice, and then make sure that if I do sell anything, it's only going to be, at that 10%, but it's only going to be 10% like in a month. It's not, because what we do is it's all in one. Did you say something?
Yeah, I said it's 10% a month, not per day.
Yeah. What we do is all of it's in a ledger, and then we divide it by half and divide it by 5. So each person is only getting 10% of the total value, a total 10% of half the profit. So everything keeps growing in the main wallet as it is. So, and that's I never said anything different from the beginning. That's kind of how we've gone about it.
What do you think about these new utilities that are coming? Are you excited?
I am very excited. I was interested with BitSwirl, and BitSwirl was kind of like, you know what, that could work. I know that that's supposed to come out later this week, as far as on the main page, and then I'm kind of interested to see how these buyback burns are going to work, because that's still something I'm learning. I'm new to the DeFi space. Like I've been in Ethereum for over 2 years now, and I've been in Doge and Sheep, XRP, but those I think are kind of more mainstream in a sense. Like as far as a project like this is new, and I'm still learning. There's some acronyms that I keep getting thrown out too that I'm not really sure on still myself, but that's just going to come with time and reading.
I know what you're saying, and that's why I want to get Summit on here and some of the other guys so that we can really nail that stuff down.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that I've almost asked, but I'm waiting to see more context in the way it's used before I ask some questions.
No, I understand that hesitancy, but at the same time, we need to understand what's going on, and so it's like we have to be willing to raise our hand and say, hey, hello, can you just like slow this down, dumb it down a little bit for those of us that are not, are not engineers, you know what I mean? It's like, so, I don't have any problem saying that, I don't understand it, it's a lot of it is Greek to me, so we have to got to get somebody in here who can articulate clearly what it is and what it is not, break it down into smaller parts, and on a show like this we would have time to do that. I mean, certainly over an hour and a half to 2 hours it could be done.
I really, I think so. There's things I do know, but not some, like, what does LP stand for? I'm assuming something protocol.
That's probably liquidity pool.
Okay. I thought the context I've seen it used in is I thought it was something protocol, but that's probably right. That makes a lot more sense now that I think about it.
Yeah, I mean that's how I made most of the money that is in Titano was from a liquidity pool.
Okay.
And somehow or another I got out just as Luna and UST took a shit.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's talk about a crazy change of events there, or chain of events there.
Speaking about crazy, let's see what the price is up to right now with Titano, or what it's doing here. You bring it up and see here.
0.0062.
Oh yeah.
So when you see me looking up, I have 3 screens in front of me. I got you up on the top one, the Discord over here on the left, and then extra.
Well, speaking of the Discord, your Spicoli, your friend Spicoli, just is trying to get me into to Titano Finance Lounge over there. And I just wrote to him and told him that I'm doing the show with you right now, so I can't do it.
Oh man, yeah, there's a lot of people in it.
How many?
A Master Marines. 1, 2, 3, over 20. Summit's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that's something like, I don't want you to miss an opportunity. So if
they record those, don't they? Don't they record them?
If it's an AMA, I've seen them record it. The lounge chat stuff, I don't want to. I don't think that. I don't know. I have no idea. I think they
the last time he tried to get me in over there, I couldn't hear anything. So I'm not too impressed with the technology over there. I mean, I'm on one of the most expensive phones you could ever buy, and there's nothing but problems. It's unbelievable. It just drives me crazy.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, which phone?
The iPhone.
Okay.
Their biggest one.
Yeah.
The most memory, the most biggest chip. We
could probably go back and forth. Because I'm an Android user, so we could probably go back and forth all day. I haven't had much of a problem. I have the what's it called, the 22 Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a problem with Discord in it, other than like when I switch like pages, there's about a 20-second wait, and then it will disconnect me from the call of the Discord. It's weird. I'm not sure if it's a Discord issue or a Android issue. But
I'm very happy with the Discord app on my Mac. That I'm extremely happy with.
Same. When I'm home, I try to use this all the time.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier.
So much easier.
Did Microsoft end up buying Discord, or did that end up falling?
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, they were looking at buying it for a while, but I don't know. I think either Discord said that they weren't going to sell, or there was a price that was just too big.
Emmy, are you there? I was going to say my daughter would know, but she's because she's a Discord hound.
Yeah, I was following that for a while because I know that Microsoft's been buying pretty much everything gaming for a while now.
Well, that's who's the other guy there? Mr. Bill Gates. He's buying up everything.
Gates or Elon Musk?
Well, both of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, isn't he coming out with a phone?
He is. He's coming out with the Tesla phone, and it's supposed to be able to mine crypto on it and work off of Starlink. And
come on, I'm kind of interested in that.
Same. That it's supposed to work on Mars when he finally gets the SpaceX to Mars.
I wouldn't mind going there.
I wouldn't, as long as I could come back eventually.
I don't think there's any coming back.
I don't either. That's my only hang up is like, I mean, like I've spent my entire life building the connections and stuff that I do have. I don't know if I would.
I think from the point that they actually send anybody there, it'd probably be 150 years before normal people could go.
Yeah.
It'll take a long time to get all that sorted away.
So you would go, huh? You just leave, and business, family, everything. You just go.
Well, no, I couldn't leave my family. I have to take them with me. But if they did, I would want to go. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
If they didn't want to go, then I wouldn't go. I wouldn't leave them behind. Of course not. But I would want to. The adventurer in me would love it.
That would be a crazy adventure. That'd be a crazy. You would have some stories to tell, or at least write back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know. It'd be kind of fun to fit that in, before I check out of this one, So
that's fair. Ask me again in like 20 to 30 years.
That's the good thing, man. You got a lot of time ahead of you, man. And it's like I really, I when I see like young people who are already thinking about important things and digesting important concepts, and it makes me feel good, because I really didn't get started in life until I was like 42. I just didn't start, pulling my head out of my ass until that time.
I mean,
Hmm.
depends on who you ask around me. Some people will still say that I still need to pull my head out of my ass on some things. But I've been very. My dad was the same way. My dad very much so an adventurer, very much liked to travel. Like I was born in here in Portland, but I've been all over the world,
Hmm.
and that was because of my dad. He was out of the Navy and then became a respiratory therapist. Got a offer to go to Saudi Arabia. We ended up spending a year in Egypt, year in Saudi Arabia,
Wow.
several years in Texas, where my sister was born, several years in Nevada, and then back when I was 13, we finally moved back to Oregon and stayed through my high school, and then I came back after the Marine Corps. So he was very much so uh, a traveler, and I got to watch him in the same sense that you said yesterday, go from kind of having nothing to having everything to having nothing to having
Yeah.
everything. I mean, my mom's on her third business now, trying
uh,
to trying to make that work. I definitely have my own opinions on that, but um, I think she can do it.
you have to admire the tenacity.
Yeah, and seeing as a son, having my own dreams and trying to fulfill those, I definitely see that, and I learn from it too. Like, and I've gotten to see it time and time again, and that was something else that I'd learned was like, where there is a will, there is a way. Like you
Hmm.
just we have there are whether we've been given them or not, we have the ability to learn, and we have the ability to learn the tools that we need to continue to push ourselves forward. Nothing is utterly hopeless. I mean,
Hmm. Unless you think it is.
unless you think it is, or there. I mean, there's some other situations where I'm sure I could be proven wrong, um, but for the most part in life, and when you're trying to succeed and when you're trying to bring yourself out of the ground, there is nothing except for yourself that holds you back. And sometimes I need to hear that of myself a couple times to
Well,
remember. But
I mean, it's especially true for guys like us, I think, where we've got both arms, both legs, they work, you got a brain in your head that works, and so, I mean, I think for us, for sure, it is that way. But we see countless, you know, examples of people that are missing arms and legs, that are coming from very poor countries, and they break out. So you have to ask yourself, how are they able to do it? And if they are able to do it, does that mean that everyone can do it? And I know a lot of people don't want to hear that how dare you say that this person should be able to break out? And if they don't break out, it's because they don't want to or whatever. And it's like, look, I'm just sorry, but if you've got examples of people who come from every kind of a difficult situation that are able to rise to the top, then that means anyone can.
I would agree. There are some situations, and especially when you're talking about world as a whole, that might be harder, and I agree with that. However, I've seen it time and time again of people that didn't have anything, that didn't have the ability to break out, still broke out. And yeah, people are going to argue, well, yeah, that's a one-off case, and that's not everybody, but they did it. They did it. They literally wrote the book on how they did it. Like,
And why were they able
yeah,
to do it? Because they thought they could.
they fought. They continued to fight, and well, I mean, and in a whole, like, I mean, it's changing now in my opinion, but in a whole, laziness isn't rewarded. So the fact that they fought and worked out, they were rewarded in one manner or the other. But I
Well,
digress.
man, it's like, before I started this business, I was having a conversation with the big man upstairs. And I was like, before I started this business, I'm trying to psych myself into it. I want to do it. I want to believe I could, but I don't really believe I could because up until this point, I made a disaster. So what why am I fooling myself thinking that I could run a business? And so, one of the things I'm talking up to the big man upstairs is like, why do you think that I could do this kind of thing? And I'm just fooling myself. And the point that I'm trying to make is that you have to believe, number one, that you can do it,
Mhm.
because I didn't graduate high school. I didn't take business courses. I didn't have entrepreneurial uh, parents that thrust me into a situation that was in an advanced situation. And it's like, I mean, I could have every excuse to fail, or I could believe that, what, I can do something here to make this situation turn out different. And it all starts with your belief system. It's like, do you think you can do it?
Taking ownership of oneself. Uh, I, that was, and it still continues to be one of the biggest lessons I've learned personally. Is like it's like I said at the beginning. It's not David's fault. It's not Summit's fault. It's not Titano's fault that I lost that money. It was my fault. But I could have definitely been like one of the other million you know, fudders in there that have been like, oh, this is all your guys' fault. Like, how could you allow this? How could you? I mean, it's perspective, but it's
Mhm.
not. It was my fault. Like I did that, but I'm also going to own when it takes off. Like, yeah, I was on Tony Titano's show. I was trying to help and spread some good words, but I'll take some credit for that too. And we're
Yeah, I
like,
mean, all of our experiences, they're not for nothing.
yeah,
I mean, even the ones you think are miserable, they serve you in some way, shape, or form. And if they don't, you're not thinking hard enough.
everything's a learning opportunity.
Hmm. Yes, sir. And even the most painful things. That's why, I don't mind talking about anything. I don't mind talking about my war experiences. I don't mind talking about watching people blow up. I don't care. It's like I'll talk about it. It's part of my life. There's nothing I can do to divorce myself from those realities. And I think that sometimes it's really necessary even to be able to step outside yourself and be able to, so that you're not traumatized by it, one, so that you're not held back, so that you're not paralyzed, because you've got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, again, complacency kills. You gotta like it, and I mean that not in the more as literal as that sounds, but like we get stuck in ruts. We do,
Hmm.
and it happens. And sometimes you need a friend to pull you out. And
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta
Yeah.
you gotta be there for yourself to pull you out because
Mhm.
sometimes
That's true.
your friends are busy. They want to be there, but they couldn't, and it's not their fault either.
Well, a lot of
Uh,
people don't know they can do it. They're afraid to step in because they think, oh, I got to mind my own business. you
right.
know and so that's why I say it's rare to have somebody in your life who feels that too, but then says, "You know what though? I can't sit back and just watch this person suffer, so I'm going to step in." I mean, I think that people who do amazing things, it's not that they're not scared. They are scared, but they don't let it paralyze them.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's contagious too. It you the all you need is the one person that doesn't let them paralyze themselves.
Sometimes you could start an avalanche with just
Right.
one. It's true.
I have kind of a silly quote that I think I came up with it, but if not, then I wouldn't be butthurt if I didn't get the credit. But um, how did I word that? Is that quote like if everybody thinks that you're wrong and you think you're right, you're probably wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, except for sometimes you are the one person that has it right, but everybody's been tricked into thinking that you're wrong, and that's called a revolution. Um, but uh, I'm still working on that and how I want to word that. But I mean, it kind of in the sense of like in that situation, you can't be the one to think that you're the only one right because whether you're right or wrong, you're the only one that thinks you're right. But getting proving it, having the
Yeah.
receipts for it will still can change. It just starts with one. It can change out and spider web out into.
You know, I'm a big believer in. Yeah, okay. I recognize that everybody has concepts, right? And they read how something ought to be, and they think that's the way it needs to be in order for this result to come about. But I think there's a big difference. I've seen it. I know for a fact. I mean, this I know what I'm saying is that there's conceptual, and then there is the experiential. And sometimes the experience is way different than what the expectation is or the theory is. The theory says one thing, but the experience says another. And a lot of times the experience is way better than the theory ever was. So, I think that, you have to go in there at some point and say, look, I recognize this is how possibly I think things ought to be, but let's test out that theory. Let's see if it holds water. And you try to pick it apart. And I think that's really the only thing you can do. And I think the people who do that, they're the ones that move mountains, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they're just never happy with the status quo, and they're not
Right.
happy with themselves either. I mean, they always think that they should do more.
Yeah, don't accept no or you can't do this for an answer.
Exactly. So there's something to be said for that. Yeah, that's what I mean. When we were talking before, it's like you look at someone like Elon Musk or whatever. Even Trump. You can just take the person out of it. Take your personal feelings about these people out of it, and just look at how is it that these people are able to do the things that they do because they think they can.
And you can. It's hard and it's different. There's some concepts that you got to learn, but you can.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I think it's there. All the answers to our problems are already they're here. The solutions are right here. We just we don't like to do the work, but they're there.
But yeah, they are there, and they're yeah. Sometimes they're right in front of your face. You don't even realize it.
Well, that's where the good friends come in. So I can help you say, hey, don't miss that. Don't miss that right over there. It's right in front.
Right.
All right. So what did you think of how do you feel about tonight? Do you think it went good? Is it worth doing?
Oh, tonight? Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, great.
Like I said before, like this, I mean, like truly, this is it's an honor to be on here with you. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate your, and I'm not trying to talk you up or make you, blow smoke up your ass or anything like that. I enjoy hearing whether I argue it or not, or like I just enjoy hearing other people's perspectives and why they do things and the way they do. And I know that you've said that before, and I spend a lot of time watching your interactions, watching your videos, and I mean, like I said, I have 5 days off in a week, so I do spend some time just kind of researching and watching things just to kind of to understand, and I do appreciate it.
That's where it starts. That's where it starts and ends, really. I mean, if you're only good at one of those things, it doesn't work. You got to be able to listen and articulate. I mean, that's the ultimate,
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that, and I certainly did enjoy it, and I'm gonna now go through the long process of downloading. I have to download this video to my hard drive, then I have to compress it, which is another long endeavor, right? Then I have to take that and try to upload it to YouTube, which usually takes like 3 tries before it does. It'll get halfway there and then it stops. It's like a big long process. It's amazing, man. I can't believe that there isn't like a faster way, and if there is, and maybe I'm just not aware of it. I don't know, but it's like these files get big. Like this one here that we have here today. That's going to be like a 4 to 6 gigabyte file.
It really is. I'd have to see your entire setup to see if there's anything faster. I mean, because I love tech. That is another thing about me.
So you're the right person to talk to.
If I don't know, I will find out the answers. I don't know if I'm the right person, but I can definitely try.
Well, let me tell you what I have available to me right now. I've got a microphone. That's
Okay,
right there.
I hear that.
And it's like on a boom kind of thing, so I can move it up and down.
Okay.
And I have the computer that's in front of me, and I got my phone.
Are you using your phone as the camera?
No, it's the
Okay.
camera. I have a Mac
Oh,
computer, and the camera's up here, right there.
I
It's
used to
built into the.
use. Okay, so I mean, at least the file's already on your computer. Why?
Well, not really, because I'm using this program called Studio Restream, and so it's actually in their cloud setup, right? So, like that link you followed to come into here, that's attached to this service, and then when I hit end the stream, the file will be over there, and I have to download it from there to this computer first.
Okay.
Does that make
I
sense?
Yes, yes, it does. I think you're on. Well, we're live at the moment, but if we go on Discord, I can show you how, because I use OBS when I was streaming to Twitch anyway, and so like it streamed directly to Twitch, and then
Uh-huh.
Twitch saved my videos, and I never had to anything that, because it was done live. So, and anything that was was there, it was automatically saved
Uh,
and put as like my previous videos. YouTube is really new to me, but I would like to think that there's a way to change how it downloads.
well, we're going to find out tonight because we're streaming live right now, and I know it's live on YouTube,
So
or at
shouldn't
least
it?
it should be.
I could tell you right now. Give me just a second.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you see it earlier? Did you notice if we were live or anything like that?
I see that it says we're live, so that's a good sign. And
Oh, okay.
I know that Summit commented. He said he's excited for the snowboard.
Ah,
And yeah, I do got to give some shout outs to him for giving me those pictures. I think I did that, but I want to make sure I do that officially. But and then it says my colorful past, another down to earth conversation about reality. Really well enjoying. Uh, I'm really enjoying this one. Thank you guys. And Wolf Trey says, "What's up, Titans?" And then Cody Wells also said, "What's up, Titans?" And V,
oh, really? Because I
ton
don't
of
see
hearts.
anything like. I'm supposed to be able to see the chat over here, and I don't see it. So that's the thing, It's supposed to be able to see the
Oh,
chat show up, and I don't see anything.
I'm sorry. Like I've been watching these go up as we come. One was at 1638, and then the original one from Summit was at 1625. And I didn't know you didn't see it. I thought we were just going to.
No.
Or I would have. I was just following your lead there.
Where are you seeing that? Are you seeing it on this
Here,
interface?
hold on. Can you can see my screen, right?
No.
Oh, you can't see my screen.
Oh, let me see what's going on.
So like here, I can.
Oh, yeah. I'm
It's,
supposed to be able to see the live chat here, but I don't see that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that sucks.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I would have mentioned that.
Let me see if there's something, some other kind of setup that I can do here. No, that didn't work.
And then
we're gonna put everybody through this here. This is not very professional, right? But oh well.
This is supposed to be real, right? So.
Oh wait, here it says chat. What is this? Let me.
There we go.
Now I can see it. Gosh darn it!
It's a learning process. It's a learning process.
Man. So, you guys are all the early pioneers. You're helping me work out all these kinks.
Right. But if you want to, if you have time, whenever you have time, I can show you what I've always used, and it allows you to go live straight from OBS. The split screen, I'm not sure how to do from that.
Sorry, we're late on there. Oh man, love it, A-Tubs, to hear all those members' voices. Fantastic. I like that. Yeah. Hello, Titans. What's up, Titans? Another down to earth conversation.
Yeah.
Sweet. Look at that. We got a little band of brothers going on here and sisters because
Oh
my
yeah.
wife's in there. Oh, and V Babes is in there too. Look at that.
Aren't you guys?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Wow, that's cool. That's cool.
It
Wow.
is. Sorry we missed that. Missed your guys'
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah, I would have if I would have seen these things coming up, I would have responded to it. So I'll have to do it later when I'm looking at everything. I wonder if these stick around. They look like they're YouTube comments, so they should probably stay there.
Yeah, they should stay there. And then I mean, most of the people that commented, I don't recognize Got It Q or the top comment,
Oh, hmm.
Tabiolo.
Oh, that's me. That's my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, not me. That's my wife. Well, a mass apology for all the people who are here because I didn't even know you were there. So this is the first time we're ever trying to stream live, and so I guess we're gonna. I don't know. We need a little bit of time to figure all this out.
Yeah, and you can. I mean, if you did want scene changes, you could. But yeah, I'll show. I have no problem running you through all that. I need to set it up again anyway in case I end up coming back to streaming myself.
All right, brother. Well, let's let everybody get back to their life, and I got a little work I got to do over here and put all this stuff together and then upload it. I think I do. I'll see when I get off whether it stays on YouTube or not. If it does, then I guess I don't have to do anything.
Roger
And
that. Yeah.
we'll throw it up on a Discord and let you start fielding questions from everybody because now you're a movie star.
Oh, stop. It does say like here. It does say that we are live right there in the bottom left.
Nice. I just hope it stays there.
I
hope it's recording, but I guess we're gonna find out.
I guess we will. We'll know shortly. The one with
Summit responded to you. Look at that. It says I'm excited for that snowboard.
Yeah, see. I'm excited.
You got friends in high places, brother.
I guess so, and I appreciate it. Hopefully, there's something I can help out with in the future for them too. I'm more than happy to do that. And again, yeah, if you need anything, always don't be afraid to reach out.
I won't. Shall we wrap it up?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming on board. I can't believe there's all these people watching us live like this. And thank you for coming on board. And who do you want to see next? Who do you want to see on here?
Ooh, mod or from the community.
Yeah, well, be from the community. I mean, the mod, it doesn't matter, but yeah, from the Discord.
There's a lot of people on there.
Whose brain do you want to see me pick?
Well, I mean, there's the usual answers of Summit and David, but I mean, I know that a lot of people said that.
Yeah, you want to get David on here with me?
Yeah, I mean, I can talk for a long time too, I guess. Like I'm looking at that time, but he does have a really good energy, and I really do appreciate that.
Probably we'll have a 6-hour show going if he gets on here.
That's okay. I'll be there. Just do it more like towards noon, so that way, like, yeah, we can all get some sleep.
All right, my friend. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. You make it really easy, and I hope it was a good experience for you.
Absolutely. And if you ever want me to bring my brothers on too, I'd be happy to bring them.
I want to do like the Brady Bunch over here. I want on the screen to have like 10 squares, and it's full of a bunch of people from the Discord all at once, so we could just kind of have a crazy time, you know.
When you have time for a little bit of a lesson, I just had an idea. I could run you through on.
Okay.
I can show you even through Discord. I can have you see my screen as I'm messing around with things.
All right.
And then there is a way to do that through Discord, actually.
Oh, fantastic! I'm all ears. But actually, my ears are pretty small. They're not actually not very big. But I have good hearing.
Probably better than mine.
Well, you got those headphones on, so
yeah,
I imagine it's pretty good. All right,
exactly
brother. I'm going to wrap it up. All right?
Yes, sir.
So I'll see you guys in Discord. and I'm
See you
gonna
there.
see about cleaning this all up or whatever and getting it hosted and ready to go. All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you again.
All right, guys. Take care, everyone. Thank you.